Scientists found extraterrestrial genes in human DNA. Are there civilizations of human beings? A group of researchers working on the Human Genome Project indicate that they made an amazing scientific discovery. They believe that the so-called 97% non-coding sequences in human DNA are nothing less than the genetic code of alien life forms. Non-coding sequences are common to all living organisms on Earth, from moles to fish to humans. In human DNA, these make up most of the total genome, says Professor Group Leader Sam Chang. Non-coding sequences, originally known as junk DNA, were discovered years ago, and their function remains a mystery. The overwhelming majority of human DNA is out of this world in origin. The apparent extraterrestrial junk genes merely enjoy the ride with it. Hard work on active genes passed down from generation to generation. After extensive analysis with the help of other scientists, computer programmers, mathematicians, and other wise scholars, Professor Chang had wondered if human junk DNA was created by some kind of alien programmer. On the extraterrestrial chunks within human DNA, Professor Chang observes further. They have their own veins, arteries, and their own immune system that vigorously resists all of our anti-cancer drugs. Our hypothesis is that a superior form of extraterrestrial life was busy creating new life and planting it on various planets. Earth is just one of them. Perhaps after programming it, our creators made us grow in the same way that bacteria grow in petri dishes. We cannot know their motives, whether it was a scientific experiment or a way to prepare new planets for colonization, or is it a long-term ongoing matter of seeding life into the universe? If we think about it in our human terms, the apparent alien programmers were most likely working on one big code consisting of various projects, and the projects would have produced various life forms for various planets. They have also been trying various solutions. They wrote the great code, they ran it, they didn't like a feature, they changed or added a new one. They ran it again, they made more improvements, trying over and over again. Professor Chang's research team further concludes that the apparent alien programmers could have been ordered to cut all their idealistic plans for the future when they focused on Project Earth to meet the pressing deadline. Most likely, with obvious haste, the alien programmers, they may have slashed the big code and delivered a basic program designed for Earth. Mr. Chang then states that the first fact is that the entire program was positively not written on Earth. This is now a proven fact. The second fact is that genes alone are not enough to explain evolution. There must be something else at stake. The implication of these scientific findings reinforce claims made by other scientists and observers of having had contact with out-of-this-world human-looking aliens. Human-like out-of-the-world aliens are claimed to have contributed some of the genetic material for human evolution, and that many of these aliens have been allowed to incarnate as starseeds on Earth in human families. These starseeds, star children, or star people, are described by Brad and Francie Steiger as individuals whose souls were formerly incarnated on the worlds of other star systems, and later traveled to Earth, and they decided to incarnate here in order to enhance the evolutionary spiritual development of humanity. Most of humanity would again consider this group of aliens to be benevolent, as described by contactees such as George Adamski, Orfeo Angelucci, George Van Tassel, Howard Menger, Billy Meyer, Alex Collier. Each of them explains the nature of their voluntary interactions with these human-looking aliens. These contactees often provide physical evidence in the form of photographs, film, and/or witnesses of their contacts with extraterrestrial races. The most widely documented and investigated contactee is Edward Billy Meyer, who provided a lot of physical evidence for investigators. In fact, the writers of the Ancient Astronauts believe that a race of intelligent extraterrestrial beings visited and/or colonized Earth in the remote past, thereby enhancing the primitive hominid Homo erectus through genetic engineering to create the human race as we know it, Homo sapiens. The evidence for this idea is found, 1. in the improbability of Homo sapiens emerging so suddenly according to the principles of orthodox Darwinism, and 2. in the myths of ancient civilizations that describe humans similar to gods coming down from the heavens and creating humanity in their own image. Homo sapiens is considered a hybrid being, incorporating a mixture of terrestrial genes from Homo erectus and extraterrestrial genes from an attributed race of gods. Before the modern era of space travel and genetics, this theory of the origins of humanity could not have been conceived. And even now, in the 21st century, there are many people who regard it as science fiction. However, in light of problems with the orthodox theory of human evolution, the idea of genetic intervention by an intelligent human-like species, which evolved on another planet over a more credible period of time, requires to be taken seriously as a possible solution to the mystery. The most famous exponents of the intervention of ancient astronauts are the Swiss writer Erich von Däniken and the American writer Zecharia Sitchin. The latter, in particular, has argued the case in great detail. The Dr. Michael E. Salla is one of the founders of an exopolitics movement that seeks an open and informed dialogue about and with extraterrestrials towards the affirmation of global democracy and the quality of life of humanity as socially responsible beings in the universe. Dr. Salla indicates that there's a large number of extraterrestrial races known by various institutions and research agencies that currently interact with Earth and the human population. In an interview in 1998, Clifford Stone, a former U.S. Army sergeant who served in the U.S. Army for 22 years and allegedly participated in operations to recover crashed alien spacecraft and extraterrestrial biological entities, or EBEs, revealed that there were a wide variety of known extraterrestrial races by various institutions and agencies. Dr. Salla also elaborates that the most compelling testimony about the various alien races comes from whistleblowers such as Sergeant Stone, and also from contactees who have had direct physical contact with and communicated with aliens. According to Alex Collier, who claims to be a contactee, a variety of extraterrestrial races have provided genetic material for the human experiment. Alex Collier indicates that Earth humans are a product of alien genetic manipulation, and they are possessors of a large gene pool consisting of different racial memory banks, also made up of at least 22 different races. Alex Collier further states that the constituents of ET humans seeking to ensure that global humanity evolves in a responsible way without putting themselves in danger and the galactic community of which they are a part. Exopolitics groups and independent contactees also indicate that components of human ETs seek to raise human consciousness and promote religious unity. Fundamentalist messages from Christianity to Islam to Judaism and other institutionalized religions, as well as apparent cult groups, have been specifically placed by hostile elements to manipulate and control people, the humanity. Jesus, who many groups allege was an ET human, sought to inspire humanity's social consciousness towards unity and not to create a Christian religion with its sexual repression as well as homophobic undertones, which have also been used for the execution of racism and to legitimize atrocities such as the slave trade. The aliens who allegedly contacted Alex Collier also allegedly stipulate that Jesus did indeed live and lived the rest of his life at Masada, and that Jesus was only crucified through religious doctrine and the creation of myths associated with palms. As far as the Savior scenario is concerned, for example, Alex Collier was allegedly told by ETs that it was put into our belief systems to weaken us. The scene of the Savior within the dogma of institutionalized religions legitimized the creation of an oppressive power structure run by elites who have designated themselves as judges of morality. These religious elites have historically used their self-appointed roles to execute a global system of social controls that complement their joint quest for greed-oriented self-enlargement alongside other government elites to business ventures. The alleged efforts of socially progressive human extraterrestrials to inspire the affirmation of the quality of life of human beings through emissaries from Earth through other spiritual emissaries have been undermined by the efforts of the capitalists to exploit this type of alleged participation initiatives in pursuit of an oppressive agenda of greed for fascist power. In Dr. Sala's articles, Extraterrestrials Among Us, published in October 2006, alleges that there was surprising evidence from a number of independent sources that human-looking extraterrestrial visitors have integrated and live in large population centers until recently, and this is known to a select number of institutions. Apart from the testimonies of whistleblowers, such as Sergeant Major Robert Dean, a number of private individuals claim to have encountered aliens posing as ordinary citizens in major cities across the globe. George Adamski was the first to write about aliens living secretly among the human population. In his second nonfiction book describing his experiences of extraterrestrial contact, Inside the Flying Saucers, Adamski discussed how human-like aliens had established a presence among the human population. Apparently they looked a lot like us, notes Dr. Sala, that they could get jobs, live in neighborhoods, drive cars, and they could easily blend into the human population. Dr. Sala further notes that Adamski wrote about how they contacted him to set up meetings that led to their famous flights aboard alien vehicles. But as Dr. Sala explains, although the controversy over Adamski's contact experiences continues, his credibility, Adamski's UFO sightings and his contacts with aliens were supported by an impressive collection of witnesses, photographs, and films that a number of independent researchers concluded were not hoaxes. Dr. Sala also states that Adamski's testimony offers important information on how aliens may be living incognito among the human population. Advanced human ETs view Earth humans as barbarians and savages who are a threat to themselves. Alex Collier claims that aliens reveal to him that there are over 135 billion other human beings in the 8 galaxies closest to ours. Alex Collier states that, "The first time I entered one of their human ET ships, a group of their children started fleeing me. They knew I was from Earth. We have a very bad reputation because we are the only human race in the galaxy that kills each other, that attacks each other. We are the only human race that allows itself to live in poverty. We are the only ones that allow members of our race to starve. We are the only ones who allow members of our race to be homeless. We are the only race that is sold as slaves. I don't like the reflection they give me of us. It is not that they are judging themselves. They just don't understand why we do it. If anyone has an answer for it, I'm open. Yes, we have been manipulated by belief systems. But why do we believe in these belief systems?" According to Alex Collier's testimony regarding the alleged ET contacts, Earth humans, we are the only race of human beings that oppresses and kills each other. If human ETs exist, as suggested and indicated by academic and other representation, saving humanity from its current apparent course of self-destruction, including the catastrophic course of global warming, could very well vitally rely on human governance systems, putting aside the whispers that drive them to greed, towards constructive dialogue.